Uncut. Grab your wine, your vape, or whatever you need to relax so we can get into this Queen Chat. I'm Monique Lovelace. Queens, introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Kiki Boom Boom.
If I said it's TK Trinidad.
And I am super excited to have our guest today as she's an experienced attorney with passion for helping people succeed in the workplace. She's known for promoting self-employment as a pathway and financial security. She's the creator of Pivoting to Profit, a 6-week mastermind experience for career women who want to increase their impact and have more control over their earning potential. Honey, let me tell you, we are ready for Miss Lauren Scott. Thank you for joining us, Lauren.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Glad to be here.
Yes, we are excited to have you because today we're going to be talking about careers. Even though we are pre-recording, we're technically in January and it's 2021. And 2020 was a crazy year, whether it was up or down for most people. I think what everybody has on their mind now is economically how to move forward. I think I'm not all the way for sure, but I know a big parts of our country. I'm not sure about other countries because we are listened to in over 38 countries right now, how they're doing with career wise, but I know our country is not doing the best. So, this is a topic that I think is great to touch on as of right now. So we can kind of, get people shifted. We motivated y'all. We talked about finances, and now we're shifting y'all to career and getting on that path of how to kind of get there. So how are y'all feeling about where y'all are at right now in y'all's careers? Anybody want to start?
Yowzas.
I'll
start.
Yeah, TK, why don't you start? Because you're just business all savvy right now and got the business going and stuff.
For me, it's a really great place. The business is doing really well. This time last year, it was more of like a hobby. Now it's like we got people on payroll and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to the 2021 as a year in a whole, because I could implement a lot of things that I learned in the last part, literally like the last quarter, to the business. And, we grew a lot with just, I don't know, divine intervention from God and all this other, luck and just paying attention to things. So I'm really kind of wanting to see how the business does on a full year. So that's going really well. I have a new show that's coming out. The wrestling show that I have, we're actually getting sponsors. And then I'm on deck for one particular job, industry wise. So it's kind of going well. What I really learned from 2020 was, it was really shitty up until maybe about mid-August. So I just kind of really learned that you just have to just kind of put things into play and just see how everything kind of pans out. Like there's definitely things that I wanted, but you can't force things. So you just have to make sure that you're ready for when those opportunities present itself. And then also create your own lane. So I was kind of doing like both things. Like I was creating my own lane business wise, because like, I always knew a second source of income in America is definitely key, because there ain't no safety net in this bitch. And then even entertainment wise, how that's going, people are paying a lot more attention to the stuff that you're creating on your own. And then how you're doing with social media, and how you're doing all the little things behind the scenes of, initially recording the podcast or wherever, like if you're doing comedy or skits, what you're doing behind the scenes. So that's really, really important. And people are actually paying attention to that. So all those little things is like, you don't really realize that your name's in rooms before, like, you just don't even realize. So I just kind of, things are going well. So I can't complain. Multiple streams of income is what one of my teachers hammered into my head. So I'm trying to stick to that principle.
Right.
That's a blessing.
Kiki, what about you?
Well,
way better than what you be trying to put out to be.
Facts.
No, it's not.
award-winning producer. Like, bro.
Well, here's the thing.
Come
Here's the
through.
thing. Yes, beautiful blessings. I work in my field, but I'm not doing the job that I love. So the job that I love, I don't get paid for, which is on air hosting and being a talent and a journalist. To I work in my field. Yes, I'm a television producer, but I don't love it. And I'll be honest. Like I've been in production for over 10 years, but I did that because I was like, damn, how can I be an on-air host? Oh, let me get a job in production. So I'm blessed because when you are a freelance producer, I have a job right now and you do stay with the job. And yes, I'm an NAACP award winner. Okay. So I'm blessed in that aspect because I do have a job and that's what's paying my bills. But career-wise, it's not what I love. It is not what I want to do. So my focus for 2021 is just trying to put energy in what I love to do, and that's on air hosting, that's podcasting, and getting paid for what I love. I do not love producing, but I will say if you are an on air host or journalist or anybody watching this, a great host, you actually do need to become a producer because that helps you become a good host. So I'm blessed, but career wise, I'm not where I want to be. But I don't want to take the time and be like, whoa, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, though I don't get paid doing it, I'm still interviewing people. I've done red carpets, I've done press junkets, I'm doing this podcast with you guys. So it's not a woe is me, it's just me trying to channel how I can now get paid doing what I love to do
Monetizing it.
or creating my own shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So it's definitely a motivation to see like TK and Monique and like all my other friends and peers just knocking down doors and just creating and doing your own shit. So that's definitely been a motivation for me. But I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. But that's,
Right. And we working on that. We working on that
yes.
here.
But I'm
at
blessed.
Black
But I'm
Queen.
blessed, honey, because 2020 has been very fucking horrible for a lot of people. Excuse my language. So I don't ever want to sit up here and say nothing because I have a job and I was
Right.
laid off and I got another job after that. So that is a blessing.
Mhm.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for your transparency
Yeah.
because not everybody would admit that. And I think that there are people out there who, feel your struggle as well. So I think that your transparency will help our other queens or kings out there with what they're going through in their career. So thank you for that.
Anytime, anytime.
Thank you for that. I want to say that I'm not exactly where I want to be at in my career, but that's because Monique has Scorpio expectations for herself. So by the time I was 30, I was expected to be Oprah, a millionaire, and on syndicated TV. Okay. So I'm nowhere near there. Well, I can't say I'm nowhere near there, but I am not there at the time. But I will say that I chose a lane too. I chose a lane because I did want to be a very successful. I always wanted to hit the millionaire mark. And so I chose a lane because I thought I would. I knew, even moving to LA, because I didn't move to LA for the industry, I moved for a boyfriend. I knew that I wanted to be behind the camera. And then I came to LA, everybody was like, you got to be in front of the camera. You got to be in front of the camera. And I was just like, I don't know if I want that.
Mm.
So I have a huge personality, but that's just who I am. That will never stop. That was not supposed to be like a persona that I'm like, oh, I came out here to act, so I'm going to tap into this personality. No, these two queens know me. It doesn't matter if I'm on camera or off camera, you're getting Mo no matter what. And so I do feel like I would want to be more successful than what I am now. But I will say that I am also transitioning into media. I haven't been into media long. These other two queens have been in media for a while. I just started media probably like 3 years ago, coming up on 4. So for me, I guess I have been doing well in this part of the industry, but I've always been in fashion. And most people know that. And I've never been like, because I started my career with celebrities and then moving into more high net worth, I've never had to put it out there like that because I've always accumulated clients just word of mouth. So that's been a blessing. but I am rebranding. I will say that. So I'm excited about that. So that will start bringing in, I think, more of, and I've come up with a plan. I ended up testing out this business coach. And now I feel like there's a plan in place to get me financially where I want to be with my entrepreneur career. Cause I've been an entrepreneur for 4 years now, but it's definitely been in fashion, as media doesn't pay like people think it does. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't.
Man.
You might get the exposure, but we see what happened with Tiffany Haddish and the Grammys
Oh,
and them asking her to take that job for free for exposure. And think about somebody like on our level. Of course, most of the time we're going to say yes because we're like, it's the exposure we need. But at the end of the day, it's like you walk away like, damn, I ain't make no coin and I need that money. So I feel like that was a long-winded answer, but it was just definitely my truth. So yeah. Lauren, I guess it's on you. I feel like we
Wow.
saved you for last.
So I
Just
can
in case you
relate
need to read us.
No, I've been taking it all in. I'm taking notes, like congratulations to TK on your business growth. And like I can relate to you, Monique, like I wanted to be Judge Judy. And so like, am I where I thought I would be or wanted to be right now? No. Like I'm not Judge Judy. But I've done a lot of work to be able to appreciate my journey. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'll get there. I haven't given up on my dream, but I've learned to appreciate the journey that I'm on to get where I want to be, and to let go of like being Judge Judy. Maybe the universe has for me something bigger or better or more intentional for me. And so like I'm enjoying the ride. So like I can relate to each and every one of y'all. Like the job I necessarily have, like I have at one point not appreciated, but I have learned to appreciate the job that I have and to embrace the opportunity that I have and the job that I have to make a difference, to improve my skills, to perfect my expertise, and to still dream and to figure out how to leverage what I'm doing right now, the skills that I have, the opportunities that I have to take the next step. But I am appreciating the journey. Like the journey that I'm on now has allowed me to be here. It's giving me so many opportunities. And so to answer the question, no, like I'm not gonna be on TV tomorrow and like filthy rich like Judge Judy, but I am having a fabulous flipping. I don't know what the cursing protocol.
Yeah, girl, let it loose. We all
I'm
do.
having
I drop the F-bomb all the time. So
We all
a
do.
good time. And that is the blessing, is that like, no, I'm not where I thought I would be, but I have learned in my work that I've done and the work that I am helping other people do to let go of the picture that I had, not my dream, but how I thought I would get there, and to just enjoy the journey. So
I love that.
Right. And I do too, because I feel like that's what I realized with having this business coach is I get so hung up on the how.
exactly.
This is how it needs to go. This is the path. And it's like, no, just know your what and why. And, you make a plan and that's cool. But if it strays from the plan, then that's also fine. Because at the end of the day, you do have to let go, not of your dream, but of the picture of how it's supposed to happen or what it's supposed to look like.
Exactly.
Because
Or even when. Because I think sometimes as
yeah,
people, especially for myself, we put this time like, oh, this has to happen at this time. So I think like Monique, you just said, and like Lauren said, and we had someone else today say, just let it go. Like, just be happy in your journey and be blessed and look at where you are today and let the universe and God take care of it. And that's something that I've been working on. And I will say, like, I've had a great path, not a great, but I've been feeling great for the past 2 months because I've kind of just let everything go. I kind of just been saying, like, God, take the wheel. I know you got me. Whatever's to happen, happen. And I've literally been stress free. I've been feeling better. So, and it's a journey. It's not an overnight thing, but I've definitely am still working on myself. And I've definitely let go of that how, why, and when, especially.
Right. And I agree with that as well. Where would y'all like to see y'all's career at the end of 2021?
Good question.
Ooh.
I know.
I definitely well, there's a lot of, I think for me what really helped was, I go in and out of trying to control and realizing that I can't control. So I got back out of the stuff that I can't control because I got really hung up on the stuff that's like, man, I should be controlling all this other stuff. So provided everything kind of goes my way with immigration and all that stuff, I definitely want to be bi-coastal where I have, a place here and a place in Toronto. So, I'm looking at a place in Toronto, but just more being able to go to. So that's a whole nother situation. But that's definitely one thing. We were really considering business wise taking on investors. And this is kind of piggyback on the last show that we had, but just in general, like some of these reality shows are so helpful and educational. So like, if you still about keeping up with the Kardashians, that's cool. But then also hop on these like business reality shows because they teach you so much. And literally by the combination of watching Shark Tank and this other TV show called The Profit, I was like, yeah, we ain't doing this investor thing right now. Like we're not there, and I don't want, and I really want to keep as much control as possible. So business wise, I really want the business to be, we're working with deals with Amazon right now. We buy black. So to the point where, my business partner and I, on the different levels that we have assistants below us. That's kind of really the game plan, business wise. And then, yeah, the good part about the entertainment industry in particular is that we're able to do stuff like this from anywhere in the world. And I just don't think that's going to change. I don't think we're going to go completely back to you having to be in studio, which I am really pushing for, not to be in studio as much, because then that also opens up the opportunity for more jobs and creating more things. So in the entertainment realm, that's kind of what I'm going for as well. Getting this particular job where it's just like you got a light, you got your computer, all right, bet. So that's the whole scope of it. And then also, Boothang, he doing the same thing, something like that.
Damn.
Who's boothing?
You better claim your boo.
Who's boothing?
Well,
Y'all
yeah,
know I be all up in her business. Who's boothing?
I said potential boothing. Like if it goes, like, because he gonna be doing along the same thing. So then we can go, bet you want to go to New York? You want to work from New York?
I thought you didn't want nobody in the same field as you.
This is really not a romance and dating episode. So I don't really know. I mean, this is more maybe of a Monique TK discussion after the show. We can discuss. I mean, I don't, just saying, just keep it on topic. We have a schedule. Helping you out. You're welcome, Josh.
Josh, stay out of this, okay? No.
All right, fine. Whatever you say.
Oh my gosh. Okay, back on point. I feel like, what was the question? Because I was really worried about,
like, where do you see your career at like the end of 2021? Where would you like to see it?
Okay, because I was really caught up on this TK and her boo situation, but okay.
Her boo thing.
I know her boo thing. So where do I see myself? Okay. I am rebranding, so I definitely see myself as establishing my brand as an expertise to out in the world now. Because to my clients, I'm already an expertise. I'm already branded. But that's behind closed doors. Now that I want to be more of a contributor and more of a speaker and more of a, I don't have to be a service. I can be more of a person that is a consultant or out there more. So that's the thing. Just really have established my expertise in my title, which y'all, I'm really excited because my new title is Media Maven, Style Guru, and Entrepreneur.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
All of your so y'all couldn't see the hair flip on the podcast, but it flipped. Okay. So So all of the my title encompasses all of what I do. Most people know. If you don't know, I've been a stylist for over 10 years. I used to style celebrities, and now I went into high net worth people, more so like high net worth, like authors, executive producers. I still style for the Grammys, for Emmys, for Golden Globes. It's just for the people you don't see. But guess what, honey? I also do their wardrobes. So they like to pay a little more money because the studio isn't behind them. They're putting money into their wardrobe. So that's kind of what I had transitioned into. And I quietly did that. So most people wouldn't know exactly who I am unless I put it out there. And if you were to, let me do my shameless plug. If you were to go on my website, you would see that. Thanks. No. I'm just throwing my hard work out there, y'all, because I'm slaving.
As you should.
So I just really want to establish that expertise so that I can start going into being on more platforms of speaking and being in front of audiences and having my own show. I'm really working on, I've been talking to a few people who already have shows. So they've been kind of giving me guidance on how to pitch, because I don't necessarily need my own show as a host, but if I could sell a show, I would be excited because then I know my ideals are validated in this industry as well. So we've been working on that, is pitching shows and getting in the door, to places like Hulu and Netflix and networks that are still on broadcasting or cable TV. And then also we have the podcast. Hey, Queens. So I would like to keep growing the podcast. The podcast has been doing so well. Thank you to all of our fans and everyone who listens. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you. And I would like to see this to go into syndication, if not by the end of this year. That's possible. So that would be great. And also, what else do I have going on? I feel like that's it for the first time in my life. I only have like 2 or 3 things. Usually I have a long list of pages of goals I have. But I've been trying to cut that down to make them more maintainable because child knows. I remember my first life coach, she was like, send over your goals. I sent over 2 pages color coded in sections. That's how detailed it was. She was like, I have never seen this before in my life.
Organized. You know what you want. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Facts.
Right. Nothing is wrong with that. So yeah, I just really wanted to bring it in, hone it in, and really get to the point where everything is scaling up, because my fashion side is already being monetized. Some of my media side has been monetized because, like I said, I've been doing pretty well. Like, for me to be in here 3 years, my last audition was actually for Quibi, even though they didn't survive. But that was, in our industry, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And the pay was even bigger. It was what we don't see first out the gate. So it was really good. And to know that I'm like, okay, well, I'm good enough for a show. Now let's get to the show. So yeah, but at the end of the year, those are the things that I really would like to hone in on. If I get a show, then great. I mean, won't he do it?
Okay.
So yeah. Lauren, what about you?
So what would I like to see myself at the end of the year? So for me, I am also like very goal oriented. So Monique, like your list of goals, I'm the one that will have a 2-page list. I've been very intentional about how I create my list for 2021 because I only want things on there that I'm like, I'm gonna do this. And so there's 2 things on there right now. One is to stop playing small. And so no more playing small for me. I feel like I've developed my expertise. I've been in my field for over 12 years. I've been working on, like laws and policies and like how to help people succeed in the workforce for over 12 years. I know my stuff. People are like, you know what you're talking about. Like, just, just come out. So like I'm working at No More Playing Small for me. Like I want to help more people. How that looks, I'm creating a course. I want to launch my course. So the two things on my list for 2021 is No More Playing Small. And that's not a SMART goal yet. I'm working on turning that into a SMART goal. But like I am going to show up as everywhere as myself with what I know to help the most people as possible in 2021 and beyond. I've spent a lot of time behind the scenes. I think we've talked about that. Like I like being behind the scenes. And so like, that's me, but I don't think I'm serving my purpose. And I don't think I'm serving people who need what I know. And so 2021, No More Playing Small. And 2021, I'm gonna launch my program that I've launched before, but it's like, again, No More Playing Small. Like I want to reach at least 100 women with my course. So that one is a little more SMART. It's not 2021 yet. So I'm still perfecting like my SMART goals. Right now, there are two: No More Playing Small, launch my course to help more women to achieve their greatest potential, which I think that's what we're all here for. So that's it for me.
Right. I think that's a really good thing. That's what I had to do. I just had to cut my goals down because I be having 2 pages. Let me tell y'all, I'd be like, listen, if you let me, I'll be like Nikki Bella. I will sit down with my man, my future boo, and be like, listen, this is let's get your goals down on paper and write the whole 2 pages too. So we'll have 4 pages together, okay, of goals and ready to go for execution.
Trust me, I've been there, and I've set my boo down too before and been like, look, I need your goals.
Right.
What are our goals? And so like, trust me, I've been there. I'm going to be very intentional. Like a friend of mine was like, well, why this ain't on there? And I'm like, I don't know about that for 2021. So
yes. That's what I said too. I said going into 2021, I really want to be more intentional than just goal setting. Like, what are my intentions and like, why do I want this?
Why is the question. Like a couple of y'all have mentioned why. And why is what you always come back to. Like when you lose hope, when you lose motivation, like why is that's the biggest question. So definitely why, make sure why is after every goal that you set, like, this is my goal, why? So when you lose hope, you come back to your why.
Exactly. Do y'all feel like y'all, since the pandemic has kind of switched a lot of, I feel like it's bringing down to build up a lot of different industries in different ways. Do y'all feel like y'all are open to like a career change?
No. No, I'm kidding. Well,
like, no, that's what I want. This is what I've been wanting. This is what I've been working towards. Y'all ain't gonna straight me.
Not so much a career change, but I'm open for new things, but not leaving what I already love, because this is something that I love doing. Like I knew when I was a kid what I wanted to do, and I don't want to leave that. Now it might look different what I'm doing inside of that and adding new things to it, but I just know for me, I can never go, not never, I'm not interested into going into any other new career that has nothing to do with media, point blank, whether it's production or hosting. I do know for me, I'm just trying to, I don't know what I want my 2021 to look like, but I do know I'm trying to reevaluate everything. And like you ladies said, just be more intentional. So that could be maybe something new, like another, not leaving my career and a new career, but having an open door for something else to kind of be attached to that. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know I'm in media and I do production, but I also do want to get into like possibly helping other people and helping women. So that's why if you go on my Instagram, I post a lot of inspirational stuff, or I'll post a lot of mood stuff. So I want to start getting more into that on like the business side, but I definitely want to stay in this career. But it might change like 2 years from now, and even 2021, it might change for me, because I know I can't dictate that. Like I'm sitting here saying it, but child, 3 months from now, it could be totally different. So I'm definitely open, but I definitely also am, I want to be like not harder on myself, but push myself a little bit more and just be like, sis, just get out there, create your own shit, and have the door open for other new things to come in.
Right. That's why I'm really excited about us creating the weekly show. I feel like, great and a great investment in yourself for 2021 as well. Do you feel like you could change in a different sector of media, or
Yes.
it just
I no, it could. And that's why I said, like, I know what I love,
mhm,
but I am open for change in the media hub. So I know for me, I'm probably not gonna ever leave media because this is what I love. I don't know nothing else. I don't want
right?
to know anything else, but I do know my role can change. I'm in production, and that's something completely 15 years ago, I would have never thought I'd be a television producer ever in my life. So that's something that was new for me. So that's why I said 3 months from now, I can get a job offer for something completely different. And am I going to take it? Yes, I am. Uh, but I'm open. So that's why 2021, I kind of went into this new year saying like, yo, God, just take the wheel, fam. Like, I'm just here
Right.
to do whatever you and the universe want me to do. And I'm open to it.
Have you sat down? I'm about to make this. This is awesome. Have you sat down and
Drag me.
wrote? I know. Have you sat down and wrote out your purpose?
My purpose,
Yeah.
what I
Like
think.
your life purpose is.
I haven't sat down and wrote down my purpose, but I do a lot of writing as far as like goals, intentions.
Because when you find your purpose, this is how I feel. And I don't know, Lauren, tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I feel like when you know your purpose, it's easier to do your career
Yeah.
because you know how to stray your career. Like you know kind of where to direct it.
Yeah.
So I like to, yes, and I like to think about it like, because a lot of people don't know their purpose. And so they're like, how do I find my purpose? So I like to think about like your vision for your vision, like, and finding your purpose in your vision. So like, what do you, if someone couldn't find their vision, because like Monique, you know your purpose, but a lot of people struggle with that. And
I
so like
just
just
I will say this. I just figured out my purpose this year. Cause I
and
did
and and it's tough. Like that's
it
where
really
I
is.
sat in purgatory like for a long time. Like, what is my purpose? And feeling like I was stuck. And so for the people that are stuck and their purpose, like let's take just one step back because I want to make sure that people who are like, well, I don't know what my purpose is, that they are also, feeling, served here. Like think about just what you want. Like take
Right.
some time to dream. Like when we were kids, we knew what we wanted. Like we wanted to be,
Yes.
I want to be an astronaut. I want to be Judge Judy. I want to be Oprah. I want to be XYZ. Like your vision and what you want is not on accident. And so like you can find your purpose in taking time to figure out like what you want out of life. And also the other thing is like the struggles that you've had. Like Judge Judy and employment law, not not the same. And so like I've had to find the glory in my story. Like your
Right.
purpose is found also in like the struggles you've had. Now I've had struggles that are like have a lead foot. And so like that struggle is kind of like, I need to learn how to slow down. Or like, like there are small things in life that we can, like pinpoint, like, okay, I need to learn this. But like our struggles and the things that we are learning are how we can find our purpose. And so like my biggest struggle and the thing that I have helped people with the most is their career. And I've had to embrace that. Like finding my purpose has been me having to take a step back and say, what have I struggled with? And embracing that. Now it's just me being the next, highest paid judge on the syndicated TV. Is that what you call it? Because I'm not in media, but like whatever you call like the highest paid white lady on TV, like that. This is, like that was my aspiration. But like when I embrace what I'm here for, my purpose, it is looking at my entire vision. And I would just want to say like our career is only a means to an end. So I don't want
Right.
us to look at our vision as like what I do for 8 hours a day, but like my totality, like every day when I wake up, how do I want to spend the first 3 hours of my morning before I log in to my, work for myself or for someone else? And then when I get off work, how do I want to spend time in my evening. So like a job, a business, how we make money is a means to an end. And
Right.
so, I think that, and finding your purpose and figuring out what you do for work, what's fulfilling you, it really starts with the vision that you have for what you want to accomplish at the end of your life, how you see yourself living your days. And really, I start with, when I coach and the people that I work with, it's forget everything else. Like, what do you see? How do you see yourself? What do you want to accomplish ultimately? And everything else is a means to achieving that vision. So,
Right.
I hope I answered your question.
No, you're fine, because I feel like that could be a whole episode, because purpose is something that I feel like is heavy. Like everybody's all like, oh, I gotta, how do I find my purpose? And I did a whole like thing around it. Like I was really stuck on this. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta find my purpose. I gotta find my
I was
purpose.
stuck for years.
Yeah, and I was really stuck on it. But then when I just kind of let it go and was like, your purpose is not about always, and I know this may sound crazy, but I had to think of it like this. I felt like I was pressured that my purpose had to be helping others. That ain't always got to be your purpose. Your life here was granted by God so that you can explore life. Now, with everybody pushing humanitarian and having to help people and stuff, that's great. I get it, because I do feel like a lot of us are here for helpful reasons, but that does not have to be your purpose. And I feel like every time somebody talks about it, you hear it from like pastors or stuff like that. They're always talking about your purpose is here to help someone, or your purpose is here. And I was like, what if that's not my purpose? What if my purpose is just to be here? What if my purpose is just to explore life? What if my purpose is to pick up something and take it back to heaven? Hopefully I go to heaven. And so, I feel like that could be a whole episode, because it just definitely is something. So shifting it over to TK, because I know we got off topic, but TK, would you, since everything is kind of shifting and there's an evolution happening during this pandemic, are you open to a career change, or is that just something you're like, nah? We can't hear you.
Hear me now? Oh wait. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
So first off, two things, just to piggyback off of what you said. Even though, like, maybe your purpose is to just live for you and do your things, you just never know who's watching you and who's going to be inspired by your moves. So even though you might not directly be helping somebody, indirectly, because I've had so many times where people are like, man, like, you've inspired me. I'm like, man, I'm just talking shit on TV. Like, it's
right.
But it's just kind of like just that type of stuff, or what you post on social media, all that other stuff. So I agree with what you're saying, but also just don't take away the fact that people might be inspired just by like you doing you. So that's still
inspiration, helping others. Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
That's ET. That's all AT, the hip hop preacher, right there. So I'll give you give him that gem. But for me, as far as career wise, I was thinking about this the other day, because my dad is like owned his business like my whole life. So I've seen him do that. And I always knew in my heart of hearts, I'm not a 9-to-5er. I'm not sit in somebody's office type thing. I don't really do well with too much authority. Like, I might do a boss, but to have multiple bosses, I've been in those situations. It just doesn't equate for me. And so with this business, I really like the fact that I have so much control, as far as the point where, planning for Black Friday and learning that businesses start planning for Black Friday before the summer even starts, sometimes even spring. And, really learning that, and kind of my thought processes career wise, still being in the media, but using all my gifts, because all that stuff is, doing this stuff for my business it came natural. I'm always selling. Like, I've sold on dates. I've sold to guys that I've met on a dating app, and I never even met them, and they were buying stuff. So like, it's just one of those things where the combination, I see I'm open to long story short, I'm open to possibilities, but I think it's going to be a blend and a combination of what I'm doing right now, which is business and media. Whether it's, me talking about, business, or educating people or stuff like that. Because my purpose when I moved to Los Angeles, I started off in the fitness field, and I really loved educating people about fitness. And that's one of the reasons why I started in the entertainment industry. I really wanted to educate people, educate and entertain and inspire. That was kind of the most things, and just do it more on a mass versus one to one. And what I found out is that you can do both, especially with social media, because you can talk to people that never met you. And I think I've said this before. There are people that have followed my career since I was like in radio, and they've seen all the steps, and they still hit me up, and they still, like, are like, it's just one of those things that they're in somewhere and you never met them and you're still inspiring them. So that's kind of the long story short of it. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I definitely know that the gifts that I've been given, and the stuff that I'm able to do right now is definitely going to move into something that's going to be along the same lines as far as purpose wise.
Yeah, I I think that's great because it is very hard to find your purpose, which actually a lot of the times intertwines in how you kind of create your career. But for the last question to kind of wrap it up, um, what do you do to stay motivated, especially in times like the pandemic that happened, or when you feel like, this, I don't know if this is even going to be a thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do y'all do to kind of like stay motivated and keep you going? Um, Basically, it would probably be like your why. Like, why do you keep going and what keeps you motivated?
I know for me, what keeps me motivated, it's like TK said, she hit it on the nail. There are people who hit me up all the time and tell me how motivating I am to them. And I'm so shocked. And I'm like, wait, what? Because I'm still trying to figure it out. So that is so dope to me. Like someone wrote me the other day, because you guys, if you guys follow me on social media, you guys know I'm super silly and I post a lot of crazy shit on my social media just to be funny and just to make people feel better because we've been in horrible times. So
Mm-hmm.
the way my IG story works, it's like a pattern. I post something super inspirational at the top of the day, then it gets really goofy and funny, and then it gets like a little cray cray sometimes. So someone said to me like, "Yo, thank you so much for posting all this funny stuff because you keeping me laughing throughout this pandemic." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." Like that was dope. So people, I think what motivates me is just people hitting me up continuously because that actually keeps me going. So when I'm feeling down, guys, when I tell you every morning I wake up because I'm on East Coast time, my DMs are flooded. And it's sometimes from the same people from my friends that always like, oh my God, this is so dope. Thank you for posting this. Thank you for inspiring. So that keeps me motivating and just posting the inspirational stuff. Cause though I feel like my goal is to help other people, it's helping me. So when I post it on my story, it's something that I'm reading and just still practicing the things that I love. So I know this pandemic's a little crazy. We're all working from home, but just doing like this podcast and being in the field that I love and talking to you ladies and talking to the audience out there and looking at people's social media, not to compare, but just to see how everybody else is doing and how they're feeling and just to pull a little bit motivation from that. So that's the stuff that's been keeping me motivated.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go next. I think well, I can't say I think, but what keeps me motivated is definitely, like you said, Kiki, is when people are like, oh my gosh, you're so inspiring, because I just be in the moment. Let me tell you, I don't be thinking about nobody. I just be doing it. There are times where I'll go in my house and I'll be pissed and people will be like, oh my gosh, that was so inspiring. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't freak out like I just did. But um I literally think other people just recognizing your work and, saying how you've inspired them or hearing around the way that people are talking about you. I feel like it's super inspiring to me to keep pushing. And then also, I'm a big advocate on Abraham Hicks, which I know people are eventually going to look them up because they're like, she keeps talking about this. I'm a big advocate on Abraham Hicks. So, when I get down or I feel like I really need some clarity or I feel like I need a pathway or I just need help, like, of course I pray, but I'm the type of person that my mind sometimes, and I've been working on this, will literally just take over and I can't stop it. And the only way that I can stop it is by focusing on something else. And when I can focus on those type of audios that are just, uplifting, and I don't have to use my mind, I'm just listening, it really helps me out a lot. And before you know it, I'm turning on Beyonce, going into the mirror and talking about how good I'm the shit, and I'm gonna get this done, and ain't nobody gonna stop me. And why have I been talking like this? Like, that's how I talk to myself. Like, you're crazy. And then I will say this, I have to give a lot of credit to the environment I have built around me, because between the team here at Black Queens Uncut and just my friends and things like that, they really sometimes see stuff in me that I don't even see in myself. So they will motivate me. They'll be like, no, Mo, like, you got to keep going. Look at this. Look what you're doing. Like, look at this. Doesn't happen all the time. Like, we just had this conversation, and this actual, by the time this comes out, the podcast is already, I mean, the episode has already come out about how, like, I freak out sometimes about the podcast. And I'm like, our numbers is just like, in the beginning, it was just crazy. And it was a lot of motivation of other people saying, no, like, this is what truly happens with podcasts. Like, no, you're doing good over here. No, or tweak this a little bit and it could help, or, reach out to this person. And so I think it just has a lot to do with the environment that's built around you as well, and just having those motivating people that's like, nah, you a bad bitch, okay, and don't let nobody tell you anything else. At the end of the day, you got this, and you, like I said, you a bad queen, you a bad bitch, whatever you need. Let me tell you, we gonna motivate you today. So that helps too. So yeah, that's kind of my motivation. I'm just saying.
Oh gosh. So I think that for me, I used to have this on my ceiling. I probably should put it back up there, but like my why is mainly my family, mainly my mom, as far as like just she's been just such a inspiration to me, just by the way, just by who she is and just how much of a like all or nothing woman she is. And that definitely is like my source. And then it kind of goes into really just like centering myself, and then also just thinking back, like all those times, like I've had, people just come up to me and just not know me and say like, there, you have a gift. And it's one of those things that's just really relying on the gifts that God has given me, and really kind of realizing that everybody, including myself, was gifted for a certain thing, and to use those gifts and not just to sit on them because, you're feeling a certain way. And what I've really kind of learned is now in more of the adulting, I didn't really have this problem as a teenager, but just taking the emotions out of it. Like you were saying, when like, if you're having a bad day, just, admitting that you're having a bad day, but realizing that you have a certain gifting that like nobody else has. And so if you have that gifting, then you using it to your ability. So take the moment, breathe, admit that like you're having a bad day, but don't let it take you off that pathway of what you're destined to do. And so that has really, really helped me to like refocus, and then just take things that throughout different parts of my life that worked for me, and use that in my motivation. Whether it's like, by this time this airs, I've fasted for 21 days, and I typically do that once a year, and that really refocuses me. And then doing yoga, and then working out every day is something that is for like, that's for me, and I have to do that. Like I've seen when I don't do that. I've seen when I skip 2 or 3 days. Like it just doesn't, for me, it just doesn't work. And to have that regiment, as far as being able to control that helps me refocus, and that helps me stay motivated. And therefore, when I'm able to do those things that I can control, other things and other people and other opportunities start coming. So it's just really just maintaining that, and then really just not getting emotional about bullshit. Like people's bullshit, people putting things on you, like just taking it as it goes, and taking the lesson from it. So I guess that's sum it all up.
Lauren, you're last.
All right. So what keeps me motivated? Like helping people really keeps me motivated. Like I know that I am motivated. There's tons of people that I'm motivated by. I see them on Instagram. I see them on TV. I see them everywhere. And they may be 2 steps ahead of me or 10 steps ahead of me. But like I am motivated by other people. And I also understand and Monique, you were like, I'm not necessarily helping people, and like I think TK said, like definitely you are, like you're 2 steps ahead of somebody else who is like, I want to do that. I want her confidence. I want to style. I want to do, whatever and whatnot. And so like I take responsibility in having knowledge and wanting to help people, and now showing up to, the people who need what I know and what I have to offer, my gifts. And so what motivates me is definitely there are people that are 1 to 2 steps behind me or 10 steps behind me, no matter where they are, that need what I have to offer. And they're going to resonate with how I deliver information and how I show up. And some people won't have to, be comfortable with that too. People are going to unsubscribe, like she ain't for me. And so like, that's also okay. And so I take comfort in knowing that I have knowledge and skills to help people. And that's why I'm here. And that's what I want to do. And I'm also motivated by success. Like I believe that I'm here to succeed. And it's not an arrogance. It is what I believe. Like it's what I believe for everybody. Like we are here to win. And so I get down, but let me not act like I don't get discouraged or I don't show up unpleasant sometimes. But I also like I have blinders on, and like, no matter how scared I am about showing up, no matter how scared I am about sharing my knowledge, and somebody might have something negative to say, like I have my blinders on, and I'm like, I'm going to help the people that are for me. Mm-hmm. And that is my motivation. And I have my blinders on. Right. And I'm going to show up no matter what, no matter, even if I don't meet my goals today for how many people respond or how many people see what I have to say. Like, I know that I am here for someone who is meant to hear what I'm here for. And my blinders also sometimes, like I said, like I don't always show up how I want to show up. And so I also hold the people around me accountable for saying, hey, you know what? I don't think that was how you want to show up. And so like my tribe and the people that I hold in esteem and around me and my friends and family and loved ones, like I think somebody mentioned, like the people we keep around us. And I expect, the people around me to say, hey, I don't think that's how you want to show up. You kind of might have want to apologize, or you might want to look at this a little bit differently, or I didn't like the way you spoke to me in that way, or like I'm not perfect, and I am embracing my imperfection, and that even motivates me now. Like there used to be a time where I wanted to be perfect and I strived to be perfect, and now I just expect people to understand that none of us are perfect. We're all here to succeed in our imperfection. And for the people around me to say, hey, I know what your goals are. I know who you want to be. I know who you're trying to embody to achieve your goals. And I don't think this is her. I could be wrong, but, and to be able to, and to just be able to, to receive it. There probably was a time where I couldn't receive. I probably would have popped off like, excuse you. Like, I don't need you telling me that I, did something wrong. But like, if I'm going to get the level of, success and reach the people that I want to reach, some of the people that I want to reach are in my squad. And so they're like, I'm not going to receive that. So you might want to tweak. So just being open to receive kind, loving feedback, and even sometimes harsh feedback. Like I've put out things and done things and people weren't so nice, but just receiving feedback in a way that is like, this is going to help people more. Like you tweaking this is going to enable you to help more people. So, right. Yeah.
Well, we thank you so much for coming on the show. Let the Queendom family know where they can find you at.
All right. So laurenscott.co is my website. And at Tickled Lauren is my Instagram. And on both places, I share everything I have, which will be expanding in 2021. Like I said, I want to reach more people. I'm not holding back. And so those are the two places where you can find everything that I have.
Perfect. And thank you so much that you came on the show with us. Queens, let them know where they can find you.
You guys can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. Don't forget to drop into centerin.co, get your body scrubs, body butters, all that good stuff. I have a brand new Love Thyself plan coming out, so definitely go and check that out.
Can't wait to get that because I have an idea.
And y'all can find me on IG at It's Monique Loveless. Also, make sure you check us out on all social media platforms at Queens Uncut, and go to our YouTube channel to watch at Black Queens Uncut. Also, you can find everything in our newly new show that's coming out with Kiki, our weekly news show on www.blackqueensuncut.com. And we love you, Queendom family. Thank you, Lauren, so much for dropping in with us. And
Thank you so much.
Queens and
Thank you
Kings,
for the advice.
yes. Queens and Kings,
Absolutely.
we thank you for listening. Catch up on the last episodes and listen to us every Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.